Acting Secretary Sue, as it has been mentioned, you're now breaking records for the longest serving acting secretary in the history of the United States, really. As it was mentioned, Article 2, Section 2, Clause 2 says that you're to serve, but only with the consent of the Senate. How many times has the Senate rejected your confirmation?
So, Congressman, the Senate confirmed me in 2021 to be the Deputy Secretary of Labor.
But not the Secretary. How many times have they rejected your application to be Secretary?
So the reason I'm sitting here as the Acting Labor Secretary is because of that confirmation.
And they did not confirm you. How many times?
No, once my predecessor left, I became the Acting Secretary by virtue of having been confirmed as the Deputy Secretary.
Okay, so you have not been confirmed. It's been over 13 months. At what point do you think that you're in violation of the Constitution?
Well, sir, you all asked that question of the GAO and you got your answer. I'm not in violation of any law sitting here, but I do want to say that I do respect the role of the Senate, and I think it's important.
And that's the point. Like, to me, I think that you continuing to serve is, if anything, a disrespect for the Constitution and a disrespect for the Senate. Clearly, the Senate gives deference to other secretaries under the Biden administration that they've approved. They have not given that deference to you. At what point will you acknowledge that you've not been accepted by the Senate and will step down? I
was confirmed by the Senate as the deputy in 2021.
You're not confirmed as secretary. So let's move on. Despite the fact that in my opinion, you're operating as an illegitimate secretary, your agency, even though you have zero jurisdiction over union election procedures, you've created a pro-union propaganda website called workerscenter.gov that basically regurgitates information from many of the acting, like the think tanks for labor unions and labor unions to encourage people to organize. What authority, what jurisdiction do you have to create such a website?
So, Congressman, one thing that has come up here today is the importance of listening to workers, understanding what they want, what they need, and trying to be responsive to that. One thing that we found before we created that website was some 60 million Americans would join a union if they could, if they knew how to do it, if they felt like they could do it without fear, if they could do it without retaliation.
My question was, under what jurisdiction?
So it is one of many ways that we do education and outreach. This website was responsive to what we were hearing that workers wanted. It was something that they wanted to know.
How much money did you spend on the website? This is taxpayer money that most people would objectively call propaganda. How much did you spend?
I mean, it's a worker organizing resource and knowledge center. It's meant to give anybody, really, I mean, it's public, it's on our website,
okay,
knowledge about the steps to take if they want to join a union, but even just, what does a union do? What is it? It is part of...
I've got little time, so I'm going to move on to the fiduciary rule. You publicly justified the short notice for hearings that are required under ERISA and the short comment period for the new fiduciary rule by stating that the Department of Labor has already heard comments. My question is the 2004 Department of Labor fiduciary rule a new rule or not?
It is a new rule that was just finalized last week.
And if it's new rule, we're now in May 1, okay? How long did you give for comments before you issued this new rule?
So that's a good question. Thank you, Congressman. So we had a 60-day comment period. That comment period is quite standard, not just for the Department of Labor, but also for other agencies. And during that comment period, we held 2 public hearings.
Did you get input from the National Association of Insurance Commissioners?
I have to say, sitting here, I don't know for sure, but I can certainly get that answer for you.
So they were not involved in formulating the rule, because you recognize that each state insurance commissioner serves a vital role
in
the process?
Well, the comment period is public, meaning we invite and frankly benefit the more widely known.
The answer is no, because their association issued a statement saying that there was virtually no coordination with state insurance regulators in implementing the rule. My time has expired. Thank you.